Today we are going to determine the alkalinity of water sample. Hope you know what is alkalinity. Alkalinity is the measure of acid neutralizing ability. Generally, it is expressed in milligram per liter. And you know very well, the industries like fertilizer, leather and paint industry, detergent industry causes alkalinity to the water. So it is necessary to treat the water for its alkalinity. Otherwise, if you suppose send alkaline water from industry to the nearby aquatic system, it is very harmful to the aquatic organism. It is not only harmful to the aquatic organism, it causes caustic embrittlement to various components, for example, pipes, etc. Actually, hydroxide, carbonate, bicarbonate causes alkalinity to the water sample. And we can determine the alkalinity of hydroxide, carbonate, bicarbonate by two endpoints. One is called as phenolphthalein endpoint, second one is called as methyl orange endpoint. So that is what we are going to study for this today practical lab. How to determine phenolphthalein endpoint? Actually, suppose if you titrate sodium hydroxide and HCl, from that you can standardize HCl, and given water sample can be analyzed by two titration. From first titration you can determine phenolphthalein endpoint, and from the second titration you can determine methyl orange endpoint. And generally the phenolphthalein endpoint, during that time hydroxide, which causes alkalinity to the water, neutralizes first. Then carbonate present inside the water, which causes alkalinity to the water, partially neutralizes. After the determination of this phenolphthalein endpoint, if you continue with the methyl orange indicator, you will get methyl orange endpoint. So during methyl orange endpoint, bicarbonate neutralizes. So hydroxide, carbonate, bicarbonate neutralizes during your determination of the alkalinity of the water sample. So what we infer? Suppose if phenolphthalein endpoint is equal to methyl orange endpoint, that shows the presence of hydroxide, which is responsible for the alkalinity of the water sample. Suppose if we get 2, 3, that is 2 into phenolphthalein endpoint is equal to M, means that shows the carbonate is responsible for the alkalinity of the water. Suppose P equal to 0, phenolphthalein endpoint is equal to 0, means that shows the existence of bicarbonate, which is responsible for the alkalinity of the water samples. So this is the basic principle associated with our determination of alkalinity of water sample. How to determine? See, here there are 3 titrations involved. During our second and third titration only, we are going to take our water sample for the analysis of alkalinity. During first titration, we will standardize the HCl that is used for the analysis of the water sample. So, first titration involves standardization of HCl. So, here you can take the burette, which is washed with water, then rinse with the HCl, fill the HCl with 0 mark, then in a conical flask take the given sodium hydroxide of 20 ml. Then use phenolphthalein indicator. You will get the pink color. Then you titrate against HCl. There may be disappearance of the pink color. Note the value. That titer value you can substitute in this calculation, so that you will get the normality of the given HCl. So this is the way to standardize HCl. Second titration, you can take the sample, for example water sample, for which you are going to determine the alkalinity directly. So take water sample in the conical flask, use the same HCl, you fill with the 0 mark, then you use the same phenolphthalein indicator, you will get the pink color, then you titrate again HCl, the water sample, you will get the disappearance of pink color. Note the value, titer value for which you get the disappearance of the pink color. If you substitute in this calculation, titer value that you got during your titration, during the disappearance of pink color, into this value substitute. This is the equivalent weight of the carbonate that is responsible for this, and into 1000 by 20 will give you the phenolphthalein endpoint. That shows the phenolphthalein alkalinity. So you know very well what is phenolphthalein alkalinity. Phenolphthalein alkalinity, suppose is equal to M means we can say that hydroxyl alkalinity. And during phenolphthalein end point only, hydroxide neutralizes first, then CO3 2 minus, that is carbonate, neutralizes partially, that we know very well. So that idea we can infer from the phenolphthalein end point. Then during third titration, what we have to do is, after the performance of this titration, to the conical flask, add methyl orange indicator, then you titrate against the same HCl, then you will get the red orange color. If you get the red orange color, you stop your titration there. Then what you have to do, note the value. If that value is V2, this previous value is V1, volume of the titration value. During the second titration, this is the volume that you have got during the first titration. V2 minus V1, you substitute here, same normality of HCl substitute here, 1000 into 50 by 20 will give you methyl orange indicator end point. So what is the inference from the methyl orange indicator end point? During methyl orange end point, you see that the bicarbonate neutralizes. So during the phenolphthalein end point, hydroxide carbonate neutralizes. During the methyl orange end point, bicarbonate neutralizes first. So if you suppose get the value of phenolphthalein end point and methyl orange end point, you can understand what is the kind of alkalinity present. For example, whether it's due to hydroxide, whether it is due to bicarbonate, whether it is due to carbonate, that idea we can infer by this substitution. So that we can have an idea on the amount of alkalinity, so that we can treat the water, so that we can go for further steps. Experiment. So we are going to estimate the amount of alkalinity present in the given water sample. Water sample is given and sodium hydroxide is given for standardization of the HCl for the titration 1. So this is HCl. This is the burette. You take the burette, rinse the burette with water. Then this is the funnel. With the help of funnel, you can fill the HCl solution for which we are going to standardization. So this is the burette. I am going to fill with HCl. Fill it carefully. Then keep the bottle aside. Then take this funnel out. Then you check whether the solution is up to the 0 mark. Accordingly, you can fill. So now you can see, now the solution is up to the 0 mark. This is the colorless solution. So you can check the lower minuscules of the solution. Now I am adjusting the height of the burette. Then this is the conical flask, and with the help of conical flask and pipette, this is the 20 ml pipette, I am going to take sodium hydroxide solution. This is a sodium hydroxide solution, and this is a HCl solution. So sodium hydroxide plus HCl going to be neutralized. So take the lid out. Take 20 ml of the sodium hydroxide solution. And you can see a mark here. Up to the mark you can take the solution. Then you can pour inside the conical flask carefully. That's all. Then keep the pipette aside. Then I am going to add phenolphthalein indicator. This is the phenolphthalein indicator. You can add a drop of it to the solution. See, this is colorless. The phenolphthalein also colorless. So I have added a drop of phenolphthalein. So now you can see the solution turns pink color. Now we can do the titration. So you should do the titration till you get the disappearance of pink color. That is the end point for this titration 1. So keep your right hand like this. keep your left hand to hold the knob, and you have to open the knob as well as you have to stir the solution simultaneously. So I am doing the titration. See it carefully. I am keep on adding the HCl present in the burette slowly to the conical flask. So you should do this titration till you get the disappearance of the pink color. That is the volume V1, and from the volume we can standardization of HCl is possible. So I am adding slowly, drop by drop, the HCl. You wait till there is any disappearance of pink color. So you can see there is a disappearance of pink color. So now keep it, you check the volume. Now it is in 19.8. So note down the volume. So 19.8 is the first value for titration 1, note it down. Then you discard the solution. Again you can repeat the titration, that will give you the concurrent value. Then now I am going to do titration 2. So titration 2 involves the estimation of alkalinity of given water sample. So this is the given water sample. So the given water sample I am going to take 20 ml with the help of another pipette. So take 20 ml. Of water sample, check the mark, then pour inside the conical flask. Then keep it out. Again I am going to refill the burette with the same HCl. Same HCl I am going to refill with the funnel. Funnel, take the lid, add carefully. The HCl. Then take the funnel out. Then you check whether it is in 0 mg. Then keep this here. Then we have taken a water sample for the analysis inside the conical flask of 20 ml. Here now you add phenolphthalein again. If there is any alkalinity, you will get the pink color. Yes. So you got pink color, so it shows the alkalinity, and you should titrate with a taken HCl till there is any disappearance of pink color. Before that, adjust the height of the burette, then you start doing titration. So I am started the titration. So you should do the titration till you get any disappearance of pink color. So wait. See it slowly degrading. So you can see there is disappearance of pink color. So now what you have to do is note down the value. The value is nothing but 11.6. 11.6. This is V2 value. Now again you take the same solution. You add methyl orange indicator. This is the methyl orange dye. So here in the same solution add methyl orange indicator. Then continue your titration. Now the value is 11.6. Continue the titration till you get the reddish orange. See this color. See this color of methyl orange. Now you continue the titration without refilling the burette. So you should do this titration till you get the reddish orange color. Hope you remember the value 11.6. Adjust the height. It's about to come. Do it carefully at the end point. See the color transformation. This is the reddish orange. Now we note down the value. This is called as the total alkalinity value, that is nothing but 39.2. So 39.2, that will give you total alkalinity value. Before that we have checked 11.6, that is nothing but phenolphthalein end point. Total alkalinity end point minus phenolphthalein alkalinity end point will give you methyl orange end point. So from the phenolphthalein end point we can determine the phenolphthalein alkalinity. From the methyl orange end point we can determine the methyl orange alkalinity, and from the total alkalinity we can determine from the last value, this value 39.2 value. From this we can calculate the total alkalinity. So we know very well methyl orange end point is because of the neutralization of bicarbonate, and phenolphthalein end point is because of the neutralization of hydroxide and carbonate. So from the phenolphthalein end point as well as methyl orange end point, we can know which kind of material present or causes alkalinity for the water sample. So accordingly we can go for the treatment process. So that depends on our calculation. We'll move into the calculation part once again so that we can well understand how to incorporate the value. Students, we determine two values from water sample and one value from standardization of HCl. So totally we got three values. So from the three value we can determine the alkalinity of the water sample. So we know very well first value during the titration 1. If you substitute the first value, we have got approximately 19.5 value. We can substitute here so that you can receive this value, N2 value. So from the normality of the value HCl, we can determine the other value like phenolphthalein end point value and the methyl orange end point value. So you note it, this value, the first titrated value here. So because of this calculation 20 into 0.1, that is sodium hydroxide volume and its normality divided by volume of HCl will give you normality of HCl. And the normality of HCl you can substitute for the second titration value, third titration value, so that you can calculate phenolphthalein end point and as well as methyl orange end point value. So that is first one. Then the second one is, this is the second titrated value that we received as 11.2 something, and this is the third value we taken 39 something. And so this the second value you can substitute here so that you can calculate the phenolphthalein end value. And third value you can calculate, but before that third value minus second value V2 minus V1, if you substitute you can calculate the methyl orange end point value. Suppose if you substitute only this value here, you will get total alkalinity. If you substitute the final value, you will get the total alkalinity. If you substitute the second value, you will get the phenolphthalein end point. If you substitute the 3 minus 2 titration value, here you will get the methyl orange end point value. So you can give results for total alkalinity, phenolphthalein end point alkalinity as well as methyl orange alkalinity. It is possible that you can give as a result. So finally I want to say that depends on your value of phenolphthalein end point and methyl orange end point, we can conclude which kind of alkalinity present. Suppose if these two values are equal, that shows the hydroxide alkalinity. If 2p is equal to m means that shows the carbonate alkalinity. If p value is nothing means that shows the bicarbonate alkalinity. So we can understand which kind of alkalinity causing alkalinity for the water sample, so that we can go for the treatment, particular treatment method for the alkalinity present inside the wastewater.